In this peaceful setting, the need for a sound baffle became apparent when the system was originally installed. Removing the sound baffle is our first step. The jet needle assembly was originally oriented in a vertical position. It required a riser to lift the turbine and generator off the floor. The original configuration was a direct drive setup. In the new installation, we will be turning the needle assembly 90 degrees counterclockwise. With the coupling guard removed, we see the turbine and generator were mated together with a Woods coupling. There is a rubber fitting between the two shafts which absorbs some shock and permits a minimal amount of expansion. The first rubber fitting we used wore out in about 8 years. When it was replaced with a better alignment, the last fitting has lasted 11 years with minimal wear. Accurate alignment of the shafts is very important. This Lima SER generator has both a voltage control and 12 leads which allow it to be rewired for several voltage configurations. When the powerhouse was first designed, it allowed for a hoist point to lift the heavy equipment. The generator is several hundred pounds in itself. After several hours of cutting, digging, and scraping sealant, the turbine finally came loose from the original base. It weighed several hundred pounds as well and required a side brace on the hoist for a more vertical lift. Here is a rare view from underneath the turbine, which even I have never seen. On the left, the jet assembly has been removed and the jet deflector is visible. When it rises, it blocks the jet from hitting the Pelton cups and shuts the system down. Our pressure control unit has now been installed on the spring pipeline to regulate pond flow and domestic water. With the Canyon turbine hoisted, we fully cleaned and repainted the equipment before moving it to its new home. All the parts were collected in the new powerhouse and made ready for the reconfiguration. Alignment of all the parts will be critical here as well. A hand truck was great for moving more than 1,000 pounds of components and tools into the powerhouse. It is important to start with the generator mount leveled as well as possible. To lift and adjust the heavy components, we're using the same rope ratchet hoist, and we have installed pick points in the appropriate locations to make the lifting easy and accurate. Once the generator and turbine are in place, it is time to reattach the needle assembly. Silicone sealant was applied, and the 8 stainless steel bolts securing the jet assembly to the turbine were torqued to 75 foot-pounds. Fortunately, our pipes lined up quite well, and once the union is installed, everything should fit perfectly. The turbine is level side to side and front to back, which is important for sheave alignment. The concrete floor was poured to allow for drainage to a floor drain. So to properly level the turbine, we used different shims on each tie-down bolt. Now that we're off the hook and bolted to the frame, any error will be compensated by the union fitting. We will fill the gaps with large amounts of silicone caulking. Removal in the future should be much easier than the original installation, and we verify that the pipe is still aligned well. I've included a link where I got the idea for a sheave alignment tool made from a wooden dowel. The original configuration has run faithfully for 19 years, but the combination of drought conditions and a substantial change in the underground aquifer has made the system less effective over time. The land with our creek was originally purchased with the intention of one day harnessing the power potential of the creek. Water rights were filed and renewed over the years, and we are finally at the stage to move our system. Will it blend? Not yet. I forgot the crucial point of turning on the load controller circuit, which balances the overall load on the system and controls the generator speed. And it does! This is just the beginning. More water from the creek will be added to the meadow and more useful load installed as we make numerous improvements to the system. But for now, everything is running fine. There's a quiet hum from the transformer, but it's mostly absorbed by the wall. We have adjusted the voltage regulator in the generator to compensate for any resistive line loss to ensure we get 120 volts in the house. Our power meter is spinning away nicely, and we initially have 27 amps of carbon-free continuous alternating current. But we will be increasing the output as we make improvements and add water.